Good morning. Myself Prashant again. Welcome to these topics. We are going to learn English. In fact, we are going to swim through the ocean of English. You know, there are n number of things you can go within English. Today, we are going to take a route tour, in fact, of all these things written on the blackboard. See, if I want to summarize even, still then I'll need more than 45 minutes to complete this. But you know, we'll take introduction and we'll go detail in it in the coming videos. Okay, so let's move on. The very first thing, my dear friends, as you know, our subject is English, and the things which we are going through is pronunciation, use of verbs, then use of question tag, then articles, then singular and plural, then end with tion, then some basic things for speaking English, and lastly, fun with English. Very firstly, pronunciation. This word itself says that it is pronunciation. But you know, most of the people go for it like this. This is not pronunciation, this is pronunciation. They spell it or pronounce it incorrectly. You know why? Because they have habit. Habits are the best good or bad things in the world. Let's move on. Let me take another example. When I say another, that time I'm doing a mistake. It's not another, it's another. If I'm saying another, then in Marathi, I am doing another of that particular word. Another, right? Then move on. This DAIS. Most of the people pronounce it as dice. It is not dice. It is days. You know, you have to pronounce correctly. What happens if you pronounce correctly? You know, pronunciation is the most important thing. I would like to quote one example from Hindi. See, there was a boy, and what happened? He was the only boy who can read in the village. What happened? He received a letter, and his grandfather asked, read the letter. What he did? He started, and he read, and he didn't spoke out. His grandfather said, what happened? Please tell me. So that boy said, it's a bad news. He said, whatever it is, please tell me. That boy said, Kakaji mar gaye. Kakaji aaj mar gaye. And when the postman read, he read out, Kakaji Ajmer gaye. So that's the difference of reading, pronouncing in Hindi. You can go it in English as well. If you do mistakes, then pronunciation will be, as you say, Himalayan blunder. The mistakes will be Himalayan blunders. So this is the first thing which we have touched, pronunciation. Why it is important? To make pronunciation correct, you have to know the words. You have to be careful about 3 to 4 things. Here we cannot go in detail, but we need script. You know, we need to use our entire face while speaking English. Through that, we can pronounce the word correctly. Okay. Now let's move forward. Use of verb. Now, whenever we speak this word, verb, whenever we speak in the world, there cannot be any sentence without verb. There cannot be any. You know why? Because verb, as you say, action words, play, jump, run, likewise, these are all verbs. So These have their own meanings. And when we add to it the subjects or the pronouns, it makes complete sense. But without verb, there cannot be any sentence. Verb is the main building block of English language. If we move on, my dear friends, question words, there are many. You know WH, as we discussed in the last period, WH questions, the question words. WH questions and verbal questions. Now, there are some, the same verbal, we say yes, no questions. Right? If the things or the questions can be answered directly as yes or no, then they are called the yes or no questions or the verbal ones. And if we are telling something like with these, what, why, where, and so on. These are the verbal questions, you know. Now, as I told you, the verb and the question words, the question words are not always used for questions. Sometimes they are used as connectors even. The boy who stole my pencil. Right? Now that word who, when we are saying that who connects, you know, or indicates to that particular boy. Next, today as we are moving fast, let me introduce you to articles. Now what are articles? The very first thing, you know, let me rub it first and then we'll move on. Just hold on for a second. Now articles, as you know, we have these three, definite, indefinite, there are the types of it. The main basic thing, a and an, plural one and singular one. The type, a and an are the singular one. Whenever a word is singular, we use a or an before it. As you know, all are aware that a, e, I, o, u are the, you know, vowels, and we use an with it, right? You know, if I say umbrella, right? Now, if I ask you, you will say, sir, please write down an. Why? Because this is you and an will be attached as it is a vowel. But if I ask you, this particular word, university, then what are you going to put before it? Can you guess? I heard you said an, but my dear friends, if you said an, it's incorrect. It should be a or the. Why? Let me tell you. Please look here. This is umbrella, and as I said, this is university. You know the sound, we have to be very careful while we are putting a or an before it. The sound is very important. Here, when we put down an before umbrella, if you write umbrella, then it is umbrella. Oh, and here when we write university, the first word is or the letter is U. The pronunciation is U, and that is why we are writing a university or the university, and we are writing an umbrella. I think you must have got this point. There are many others, right? And MLA we even write. MLA. In Marathi, people say MLA, but this is not like that. This is not yum. People pronounce it as yum. But this is not yum, this is M. And that's why an umbrella. Okay. Now let's move on. Hold on for a second, my dear friends. We'll be moving to the next one, which is very interesting one. Singular and plural. Now what is singular and what is plural? Whenever we look at things, for example, before me, now here in this classroom, there are 3 living things and all other things are non-living. So, as I say, fan. So, there are more than one fan. So, we will say fans. So, this is plural. And when I say boys, then it is S, boys. Okay. So, S indicates that it is plural, more than one. Look at it. I said boys. We'll repeat it again. You know, plurals means more than one. Nouns have singular and plurals. In the whole world, there are n number of nouns as we have seen in the last video. Now, singular and plural, all nouns, they can be singular and plural according to their condition, but yes, some plural and singular nouns are same. For example, fish and fish. Both are singular and plural. Okay. Then some nouns which are already plural, like people. It is already plural. Like child and children. Singular, plural. I think you must have got my point. Right? Moving on next, my dear friends. Let's come up with end with TION. Now this is TION. I would like to tell you one thing. When we read, sometimes our vocabulary doesn't allow us to read. And what happens? I can tell you, if the word is like this is camera, okay? And if the word is, this is culture. Now, if in the book, this is written and I am unable to read it, then what I'll do? I know this is culture. Then in a hurry, I will read culture and I'll move on. As the sentence is, it is a cultural program. Now, if I don't know this is cultural, then what will I say? It is a culture program and I'll run in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry while reading. It is always necessary that you should read properly and correctly with taking pause wherever necessary. Okay. So, my dear friends, now here the next point is TION. Why I introduced you to this point? You know, there are words, not only TION, there are many words. For example, I have written there end with TION. Let me rub it first, then we'll have ample space to write down. Okay, now this TION. Okay, if I add only N and A before it, it becomes nation. If I add AC and TION, it becomes action. If I add DIREC, it becomes direction. Okay. But if I say this is passion, now SION, some words which ends with TION, which ends with SION, they end as shan. The pronunciation is always shan. There are some, as we have seen, like this one, T-U-R-E, that is char. See, culture, literature, agriculture. There are many words. You can find it from your book. So, end with TION means what? This topic, in this topic I would like to tell you that there are particular words in English with the help of which you can remember the words if you are not able to make it happen. Okay, so moving on next, there are some basic things for speaking English. I think we have reached the end of these topics, but before going further, let us recapitulate all the things again. So, in the very starting, we have studied pronunciation. Pronunciation means what? The words which you are making sound from your word in your mother tongue even. And what's the basic difference between the pronunciation in English and Marathi or in Hindi or any other Indian language? You know, as we write, we speak in Marathi. As I say, Sham, I pronounce it as Sham. But in English, it is not always necessary. So what are the important factors as far as pronunciation is concerned? The sound, the script. There are 44 sounds in English, my dear friends. 26 are the only alphabets, they are not sound. We'll have to take a complete new period on pronunciation, and in the coming days, we'll take it from where the sound comes and how we have to, make it clear. As I told you, I would like to give you one tip. Here in articles, if there's a confusion with you as far as the articles are concerned in your mother language, especially in Marathi and Hindi, if you want to know whether "and" will be applicable, if that particular word is singular, and whether "and" will be applicable or not, so you do one thing. You pronounce that word like university and umbrella. Here, this is as I have told you, this is you. So, this is Marathi or Hindi, A, I, E, U, A, I, O, A, like this. In Marathi and Hindi, you just pronounce it. If it is there, the first word, definitely there will be "and" before it. Otherwise, there will be "a" or "the", depending upon the words, whether "the" is applicable or "the" is applicable. That also we are going to see in the next period. Then we have seen verb, use of verbs. As I have told you, on verbs even we can go for one whole period. There are transitive, intransitive, then according to the tenses they changes the forms of verbs and many things. Next, question words. Now here question words, for example, this is a book. See, now if I ask you, what is this? This is a book. Then next, why are you reading? I have to appear for 12th standard exam, that's why I am reading it. Where have you found it? In the library, obviously. What is the cost of this book? Rupees 187. So, these are the question words. With the help of the question words, we can make questions, that is the use of question words. And secondly, in between, we can use these words which acts as connectors, and in the clauses also we can use this. If you read that, you'll come to know. Then article, as I have told you 3 to 4 times, let's rewind it again, that articles are a and the or the. Now the, that is for specific things. When it comes to specific things, then the is applicable. A and an are the counting things. Whenever we can count things, nouns, then there a or an is applicable. Then singular or plural. Again, all nouns, especially nouns, they can be singular and plural. As I have told you many examples. Again, let me tell you some. Girls and girl, singular and plural. In the coming days, the worksheets are going to be posted in your groups regarding this, and you have to solve it. Okay? Then end with, not only T-I-O-N. I would like you to do one thing. You please read any lesson which you want and find out if there are words like this. Not only that, you can do the use of numbers, or you can find out the numbers even from the story. As in the 5th standard, there's a special chapter for finding out the numbers, right? Then now, as we have summed up, and I hope I have done a practical and nice thing to tell you about these things in short. Now, let's come to last 2 points and then we'll conclude. Some basic things for speaking in English. The very basic thing, if you want to speak in English, my dear friends, don't hesitate. Don't be in a hurry. And just go for it, whatever you want. If you want that you should speak in English, no problem, just speak it. Don't think whether you are able to speak, whether you are making mistakes or not. It's not your job, it's the job of people to find out your mistakes. Your job is to speak only. So please speak out. That's the first basic thing. The second basic thing, observe. This is a very important thing I would like to tell you. We have ample time. When people say, I don't have time, Madhu, where's nahi? How can I see? How can I do things? It's not like that. When you go, if you are going to your house, from wherever you are coming, just look at the boards. There are n number of boards on the road, right? There are n number of hoardings and nameplates on the boards. There are n number of things on the autos and everywhere. For example, just one thing, if you have observed, somewhere people, for their fashion, they write the spelling of photo like this, P-H-O-T-O. If you go to Batthe, then you will find that there's a shop named Moonlight Photo Studio. You can see that moon and light, in between there's a figure of a person. So you can remember things like that. You can remember spellings even. Now what's the difference between photo and photo? Both are correct, but this is grammatically incorrect because the script is like this. Now what is script? That also needs one more period. So in this period, only we'll do this much. And the next thing, observe. That is the thing we have to observe. And the observation is the first thing. Then second, speak out without hesitation. And the next thing, just speak out. Don't bother whether that person dies or leaves. You just throw your sentences. Just do it. Be your friend, be your mother, be your father. Just speak out. Just speak out. And you can speak English. English is nothing. Okay. Then the last point, fun with English. As I have said in the last period even, fun with English. See, we have discussed, let me rub it, the last point we will be doing, and then we will be concluding for this particular period. Okay, I, as I have already told you, and this is I, this is one, and this is one. See the pronunciation. This is I, this is I. Actually, this is not I, this is I. And this is also I. But people do pronounce it incorrectly. Then this is one. This is also one. But we say as one. This is not one, this is one. Right? So these are some things which are having a comic side in English, right? Then there are n number of things. If somebody writes there and if somebody reads there, so there's a difference. This is there, matlab unka, and this is there, matlab wahan. So there are things. Fun with English. For this, I would like to suggest you to go to the net and download the word puzzles. The games, we do have a lot of these days. So please go for it, try it, and make your life interesting. The last thing, some basic things in speaking English. As I told you, do all these things, but when you go on a platform, you can speak at your home, there's no issue. But when you go on a platform, try to speak correctly. Because you people are listened by many persons. Okay? So, I hope this particular topic and the things which we have covered today, I hope you people have enjoyed it, and in the coming days we will be coming with more sentences, pictures, videos and all. So till then, my dear friends, stay home, stay safe, and it's from my side, that is Prashant Batthe. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi and all. Thank you so much.